And just like that, we have reached the middle of 2022. That is just crazy to think. And unfortunately, with that comes the colder weather, which makes it a little bit more difficult to, stick to your health and fitness goals. But I really motivate you and urge you to try and push through and really just stick to the good habits that you've already formed throughout the beginning of the year already. But I also today specifically want to talk about cancer prevention in men, as June marks Men's Health Awareness Month, and specifically looking at cancers in men. So interestingly, we see that 6,000 more cases of cancer is being diagnosed per year in men more than women. So men are really actually, getting diagnosed with cancer quite a lot. And we see a whopping 67% of men can either be classified as overweight or obese, which is just a crazy number. And unfortunately, we see that this is a major contributing factor to the increased risk of, developing cancer or getting cancer, as we see that 40% of common cancers can actually be prevented through a healthy lifestyle. Now, a healthy lifestyle is a very broad term, but I think most people kind of have an idea what that entails. It's typically being physically active, following a healthy, balanced diet, and just really making sure that you are optimizing your sleep and reducing stress levels and all of those things. So today I want to talk a little bit about the healthy lifestyle, specifically pertaining to diet. As you know, I am a dietitian and this is the Nutrition Doctor channel, so we definitely want to focus on nutrition specifically, as we have a very big role to play when it comes to our diet in preventing a lot of chronic diseases, but also cancer, and also, of course, also managing our weight. So we've made a lot of videos on weight management, how to lose weight, how to look at macronutrients and all of that. So I urge you to go look at that. But I just want to do a quick brief overview of, a few small little things that you can remember to try and tick off on a daily basis when it comes to planning your diet or when you are looking at your diet. So having a healthy diet would be a diet that is nice and balanced, meaning that there's a good amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats present at each meal. So there's a good balance. It's not overshooting with the one and cutting the other one out completely. And then in those food groups, also trying to go for the options that are as minimally processed and as natural as possible. So thinking rather have the corn on the cob than, mealie pap. Not that mealie pap's wrong, but then you'll just do a lot more. It'll just be better to have the physical corn than having it in a processed form. Going for your complex carbohydrates that are lower in GI, thinking of your whole grain options instead of just your normal white options, like whole grain pasta if you can afford it, compared to normal just white pasta, or then complex carbohydrates like your starchy vegetables instead of lots of rice and pastas and those types of things. Then also looking at good quality lean meats like chicken, fish, and your poultry products. And also when you are buying red meat, going for things that are of a leaner cut, and trying to not over consume the fat on the meat, which I know is often something men, especially South African men, love, is a braai with a choppy and the fat. So be careful of that. It does definitely contribute. And then when we're talking about fats, we want to focus on more plant-based fats, healthy fats like your olive oil, avocado, nuts and seeds, those types of things, incorporating that into your diet instead of really heavily relying on saturated fats or processed fats, for example. So those are typical things we can do. Making sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day so that you don't overeat at your meals because you might be just thirsty instead of really hungry. Watching your caffeine intake, not overdoing it with the cups of coffee or even normal tea. Trying to be as physically active as possible. So Body 20 is a great option, but then maybe on top of that, walking, trying to be as active throughout your day as well. That's also going to be very beneficial, making sure you're sleeping enough, 7 to 9 hours every night of good quality sleep if you can. Managing your stress levels by either doing things you love or meditating or whatever it may be that helps you, relieve your stress. All of these things actually have an influence on your lifestyle and your risk of developing cancers, but also other chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and so forth. So this definitely is, things that we would recommend for men, but also for women. So as a family or As a couple or individual or single, whatever, you can do it. It's really just small little changes here and there is going to make the big difference at the end of the day. So maybe take some time, evaluate your diet, look at what you think you are doing at the moment and where you can improve on. And then you can always let us know if you have any questions. Look at the eating plans to give you a guide as to where you can maybe make some improvements. Are you getting in the right amount of portions and all of those things? And then we can all, be just more mindful about our diet and hopefully prevent as many chronic diseases as possible. That's it from me. Like I said, if you have any questions, let us know, and then I'll see you in the next one.